Hey guys, today I have a 2012 Yamaha Rhino 700 and it needs new rear bearings, so we're going to be replacing that today. With the wheel off, we now need to take the castle nut off, and there is an indention on the shaft, which is it's been pinned in. Take your little chisel. I'm going to pry that out. Just enough where when you do take the nut loose, it won't catch, the side of the nut won't catch the shaft. We're ready to take it off. Before we remove the hub, we've got to take the caliper off. And that is a 12 millimeter. That's 2 bolts, 12 millimeters. Set that over to the side. The hub can be removed. There's 2 bolts that holds the spindle on, 17 millimeter. Now it's time to remove the bolts. Okay, now you can remove the spindle. Now we're ready to take the bearings out. Well, first I'm going to take the seals out. Now the difference between a Yamaha and a Polaris is the Polaris comes with 1 bearing. This has 2. And there's a spacer in here that is molded in with the spindle. You cannot drive both of them out in the same side, unfortunately, which makes it a little more daunting of a task. And this is why I've had to purchase the bearing puller kit from Pittsburgh, Harbor Freight. Works great. You'll have to put that in there like that. There's ways you can drive the one out on each side, but it's just hard to do. You have to take a punch, go down there at one end, and keep knocking it back. So this makes it so much easier. He'll loosen up on you a couple times. You just have to keep tightening up. Like I say, you can use a chisel, but that will wear you out trying to get these things out like that. It's best to go ahead and spend the $60 and pick one of these up. It'll save you a ton of time and aggravation. All I got that out. See what it does? It reaches out there. There's a flange on this piece here, and as you put it inside the inner of the bearing and tighten it up, it flares out against the inner chase of the bearing. Pops right there. Here's the piece I was telling you about that is a solid. It's casted in with the spindle. So now we're going to drive the outer bearing. What I'll use to do that is a 27mm socket. You have to put it up on something to drive the rest of it out. This piece came out, it actually goes like that. I mean, you can't mess it up, just make sure you put it back in. Now I'm going to clean all the pieces. And what I did, I took an old bearing and I grinded the outer edge just a little bit, just enough where it would slide in there and come right out. And I'll use that to drive the new bearing in. And just alternate, tapping up, down, side to side. And if you notice, the sound changes. It means you're seated. And flip it around. Don't forget to put this piece back in. And if you want to, you can put a little bit of grease inside this area. Lay it down in there like that. Take the new bearing. I do the same thing. There he is. Now time to install the new seals. The lip will go on the outside. And this one actually was easy enough, I could just push in. Now you want the seal to be mated with the outside of the spindle. If you do have a problem getting them pushed in, you can take an older seal, just lay over it like that and just tap. There it is. we're ready to install it. Now that we have the seals and bearings put back in the spindle, we can install the spindle. I start with the bottom. You can start from the top or bottom, either one, but I usually put a little bit of grease on the spindle bolts. This might be a little more difficult because you got to pull down on the A-arm, line it up, and then put the bolt through. Always use a normal ratchet to make sure it's nice and snug. I don't trust those battery ratchets. I mean, they're good, but I just like the hands-on. It's nice and tight. Alright, with the spindle attached to the A-arms, we can put the hub back on. And there's plenty, you can put grease on the spindle, but this still has plenty, so I'm not going to bother with it. Now we can put the axle nut back on. They recommend that you use a new nut. I'm just going to push it back in that little indentation. Now it should work again. All right, last is to put the caliper back on. With those snug, all you need now is to put the wheel back on and it'll be a completed job. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I hope it helped. And if you liked it, please give me a subscribe. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.